Okay, everyone. Yeah, cause I finally checked out that Jay Christ thing with
Lil
Nas X.
Nas X.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you put me on you put me on game. I wasn't really paying no attention to it,
Yeah.
but with this Jay Christ, I really been let me say this so nobody won't get offended. I don't have nothing against people dealing with other people of the same sex. I'm
Right.
society done got bad that I even feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable even saying homosexual now. Because you can't say
Uh,
gay, you can say gay, but you can't say faggot. It's I even got to the point now I'm scared. I ain't gonna say I'm scared. I'm trying to be politically correct, which I'm probably very bad at. But you know what? Fuck it. Trump might win again, so he ain't gonna be completely correct. So let me jumpstart that thing right now. Uh these homosexuals, I don't have nothing against homosexuality. And everything that I'm saying is not coming from my point of view. I'm like Trick Daddy. I love the kids. So everything, if it sounds like I'm being dogmatic or I'm getting excited or I'm coming harsh, is because I'm thinking about the kids. So I want
okay.
everybody to know
Good
that
point.
this is not a personal thing. I'm thinking about
Okay.
the next generation.
I like that perspective. Let's hear what you got to say.
Okay, then. Well, after I did the research or the ghetto research, YouTube and watching these videos. When I seen that Nas X video of Jay Christ, it was funny to me. Uh,
Okay.
it was funny because I'm not a Christian no more.
Ah.
It religion because I'm gonna bring it home to close on why I brought Christianity in off the break. Because if I was a Christian and still believing in this Jesus Christ, that the letter J didn't exist until 600 years, and we've been on this earth millions and millions of years. That's a gimmick in itself, this Jesus Christ thing. But and it's funny that this has everything to do with Christianity because listen what the video called J Christ. Who is he talking about? Even if he didn't put Jesus in it, subliminally he letting you know that's what he's talking about because you got people walking that's going up to heaven. And this is another thing too. When the people was walking going up to heaven, and this just came to mind. It wasn't a lot of black people in that line.
Nah. Okay.
It was a bunch of white people. If a lot of people didn't notice that. Now, when he did
Well,
that other video
that makes sense.
with the demon and he was the dog, it was a black dog in it, and
Mm.
it was a black devil with wings on it. But this J Christ, it was everything was white. So I just that just came to my mind as me talking.
I
Um,
have to look at that part again.
yeah, look at that line when they was walking. Then it shows another one where they going up. I ain't see nobody dark, but one or two. It's
I
like
know I remember seeing a black guy.
or
Uh,
somebody. But the only thing that was black that was a human being, I think it was just Nas X. It's like dropping a grain of dirt or a grain, and look what I just said, a grain of dirt in a bowl of salt or sugar. It's
or
easy to
pepper.
notice.
Or pepper. You think that was intentional, or do you think that was just like a subconscious?
Everything is
You know.
intentional because subconscious, you'll do it without knowing. When people shoot a video, they plan it, they get the people and everything.
So
So
what you think the message was for casting that line of people going up to heaven being predominantly
man,
Caucasian?
look at the Bible. Let's look at that Bible that we talk about. It talks about fair skin a lot. It don't
Yeah.
mention nothing about dark skin. It don't say dark skin or black. If anything, it may have said the land like Ethiopia, but that was
Right.
the name for
Well,
black.
it does say something negative about dark skin in the Song of
Yeah,
Solomon with the girl. She said, I am black but comely." Right.
yeah,
That's almost like some dark skinned girls get that underhanded comment. "Oh, you pretty for a dark skinned girl."
uh-huh, yeah.
Right. So it's like that.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm touching on this Christianity thing because it's called J Christ, and it's a point that I had mentioned to somebody, and I mentioned it to you now that everybody wants us to be politically correct and stop calling them like you can't say the word faggot no more.
I don't
Or
think it's necessary to say that though. I think gay does it. You know what I'm
Gay,
saying?
gay
Right?
lesbian.
Right? Because I think the best way to do it is just go by the terminology that they put out, LGBTQ or whatever. Plus, you got
Uh,
lesbians, gay, bisexuals, transgenders, queer, all of that stuff. I just use that terminology. You can say gay. That's
yeah,
the G in LGBTQ.
yeah, but see, this thing is hypocritical because just like if you say certain things or do certain things on your podcast or anything, they can take it down, or they could come knock on your door, or if you make any like say anything out the way that's not right
Yeah.
eyes. Why can't they do this with this thing with Jay Christ?
Are
With,
you suggesting that that needs to be done? Is that where you going? That it's offensive? The J Christ video is offensive and they need to take it down?
yeah, I would say it was offensive because they make everything else offensive.
Is it offensive to you, or are you speaking on behalf of people who you think are
No,
offended?
for me, I think it's offensive to me. But then I also think if we're gonna do this thing all the way right, and if this thing, Jay Christ thing, what he did, and him being gay and what he was doing, showing the representation, he was showing that he was gay, but he still could go to heaven and stuff like that.
Oh,
Is that not offensive?
so 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 what's offensive to you is not just kind of playing with the imagery of Jesus Christ, but you're talking about combining. Hey, what's up, TLX? So you talking about combining, uh, I guess the LGBTQ lifestyle with Jesus Christ
Yes, it's offensive
to you,
to me and probably many other
but you,
people. I
but
mean,
but you, but you're not a Christian. Why would that be offensive to you?
because they use that as the gold standard of how would you say it? That's the gold standard of, to be quote unquote a citizen or law-abiding citizen is when you stand on that Christianity. I'm
Okay,
putting
like
Christianity, I'm putting Christianity on blast. That's like the golden standard of all religions, is
in the
Christianity
Western Hemisphere, yeah,
in the Western Hemisphere. And it's not just the Western Hemisphere. They trying to push it, and they just
certainly,
in Africa,
yeah, yeah, you're
and
right,
still trying to push it. What we call with the key word missionaries. So yeah, so that's the
right,
gold
or
standard.
evangelists today, yeah.
Yeah, which what I would call is like some new world order stuff. They've been trying to push one religion for a long time. And
Mhm.
if Christians don't, and I'm not a Christian now, if Christian, I'm using Christianity to show you that this homosexuality and Christianity is one and the same. Because they ain't done nothing about it yet. And we gave the green light for everything here. And if you do something too bad to one of the rainbow people, we even got a rainbow. They even got the alphabet. We do something to them. They got laws and rights and privileges now. You dig what I'm saying? So
True.
it is not fair. It's like they're being hypocritical. You making laws saying we can't say this. You even making you're forcing it on our kids subliminally by on TV and everything. And then on top of it, they even putting it in schools. Now,
Well,
like I
listen,
once again, I say
well,
I'm
well
speaking to children
let's
as
separate that out a little bit because I don't have an issue with anybody being protected under the law. I mean, if that's if your sexual orientation is what it is, and now how that agenda competes with a black agenda and gets prioritized for protections and resourcing under the law, I could take issue with that, right? Because that movement kind of usurped. But the fact that you can't use some terms that become offensive for that community. I mean, that is what it is. Terminology, in my opinion, terminology changes, and I think it's easy to kind of navigate that. We ain't got to use the F word. You know what I'm saying? We could use whatever letter you need from the LGBTQ to describe that. Where I think you take offense at, and where my concern also lies, is the fact that the agenda is pushed to kids without permission from parents. Right now, is that where you coming from when you say you're offended and it's in your face? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I mean, and the reason why it's in the face is because, like you said, they done made it a law. Why wasn't it a
Okay.
long time ago? Even in the Bible, Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, if you want to talk about law, let's go back to Deuteronomy. Even though I'm not a Christian, I'm flexing my Christian muscle to let you know I'm well endowed and knowing Christianity. I've read the Bible from beginning to end, from like
Uh-huh.
2009 to 2020. So I'm well versed in the Bible. Let's look at the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's
Okay.
look about the book of Leviticus, the book of laws, where
Hmm.
if it was if it's so much a law, why wasn't this law set in place long time ago? Or even in our era growing up as kids, why wasn't this law set in place long time ago?
Hmm.
Times has changed, and like what Christians say, the
I
world
guess
is
that's it.
quote unquote coming to an end. Why all of a sudden y'all making it a law? Who cares? We grew up. Homosexuality never stopped. It's been around for millions for years.
I think that's a great distinction right there. Because some people may hear you saying why it's got to be a law, and think that you have a problem with certain groups getting protection of the law, but that's not what I hear you saying at all.
Oh,
What I hear you saying is that we grew up. This was always a part of our environment, and there was always a mutual respect
yeah.
between heterosexual and homosexual people. Homosexual people chose to come out as they were comfortable. But
Oh,
as a matter of fact, one of the main things and not to I don't want to spin this topic to where it is super focused
yeah.
on LGBTQ, but since we're here, one of the main things that really dead bolted the closet locked for people in that community was the religious community. The religious community was the ones that were openly, um and I won't say antagonizing, but openly opposed to that community because of stories in the Bible, like you're saying. Sodom and Gomorrah, Leviticus, certain things that are in there. So that directly opposes the views that that group is taking. So I mean, and I end it here and hand it back to you. But that just goes to show you that when it comes to the Bible, is it what it is? Is it what it says it is? Is it eternal book of truth with universal truths?
No, it's
I mean,
not.
it doesn't keep up with the times, and I'm not saying that that movement is right, wrong, or otherwise, but I'm just saying if the Bible is supposed to be an eternal template, it's showing that it's behind the times right now.
Yeah, but like I say, the same people that they fought for their rights to be do what they do, it needs to be some rights and laws put in place to protect the kids. That's all I'm saying. It's nothing
Okay, okay.
because
Protect them from what?
if huh
Protect the kids from what?
making a choice on their own without being manipulated, it's
Mm,
contradictory. It's so contradictory. It's hypocrite. And the powers that be, I ain't gonna say the power of the government, because we don't know all the powers that be, secret society, Illuminati, all these societies that people say that's out there, but they use the government as the spear to say something is right or wrong. And I feel like it's wrong. It's done gotten out of hand with this thing. And I'm a spearheaded with Christianity. Christianity the one that taught you good and evil, right and wrong, what you can and
mm,
can't do. And why ain't this thing being hit? Why nobody like look at NWA? Fuck what was it called? Fuck the police. Look how
mm.
they went with it. They control even with the rap industry, they control all the raps. Like now, you don't have no positive messages out there no more. Like subliminal messages like back in the day, like Method Man, Rakim, Cool Mo D. They controlling that. And they're allowing this thing to influence children. It's unnatural though, cuz I mean, if you think about it, the creator did not create male and female for no reason. And
So,
like what
mm,
Cat Williams said, they say that we came from gorillas or whatever. But he made a real common sense. If that was the case, why are there still monkeys and gorillas if we evolve? When something evolves, that means something becomes non-existence and something becomes more exist, it will be extinct.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
is it like they promoting this thing
Yeah.
to cause a genocide to make uh it extinct? Like a minute, like I was hearing like Minister
Well,
said, you have if as time keep going, Caucasian will be extinct because they're blending in with every other ethnicity. So is this another form of extinction, genocide? That's why they made laws to push that agenda
to
fast.
protect that and kind of magnify it. You know,
Yeah,
I personally I don't like focusing on that group too much. It's too much of a headache.
right,
It's too many landmines with addressing your views on that, in my opinion.
right,
But
right.
here's where I draw a line is that I think the agenda behind it is clear. I think the agenda behind it is clear. You know, even if you look at Lil Nas X, look how he started. Now we talked about this. He started with Old Town Road. That was his claim to fame. Everybody loved that song, man. It was fun. It was youthful. The
I like
adults can get on it. The kids loved it. You know, doing the little horse giddy up, giddy up. And I think that was the beginning of opening the door to capture a, a audience that were youthful kids, right? And he was going to schools and touring and all of that. And then all of a sudden, once he captured the attention of that audience, he transformed into something else, something
yeah.
completely, something that we didn't care to know about. I mean, like that's your personal business. I mean, do you? But then he put it on Front Street, and it was just obvious that it's agenda based. Just how hard y'all pushing it, and even the whole Jay Christ video is really, to me, and here's my, I give you a bottom line take on the Jay Christ video. The Jay Christ is the attention getter. The on being on the cross and people going to heaven is the shock value that spearheads this thing for going viral. But once we got all y'all attention, here's what we really want you to see. We want you to see the image of a black male figure dressed as a woman. I think that's really what they want to see. And again, if that's your choice, I ain't got no issues with it. But I think that um, the society is changing, but folks should have room to instill the types of family values that they see fit for their kids. I'm very uncomfortable with someone else pushing family values that I don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? Like I need a notice and I need consent on my part. No condemnation, no hate, but I think respect is how we coexist.
Yeah,
Mutual respect
and like I say once again, like I said, if I get excited and everything that I'm saying is
about
for
the kid.
the kids don't have no voice. A lot of kids don't even know what they're looking at. Some of them don't even know. It's already subconsciously be put in their head to accept that. You dig?
Mm.
That's not cool because you have freedom. Technology is very powerful, and these kids are way more advanced, so they're going
Mm.
to see this stuff. And a lot of them probably think it's a norm. And like I said, they are force feeding this thing to us. And when you talk about religion as Christianity, and that's supposed to be the gold standard of society, where the Bible itself doesn't condone it, but it don't glorify it anyway. If anything in the Bible, it showed what God did to them people. And since he is using that as part of his video, is wrong. Because when we grew up, it was said to find a good woman, where do they say go to? Go to church. When they say you need to get your life right, what do they tell us? Go to church. When you go in the courtroom, what do they tell you to put your damn hand on? A Bible, and swear to and swear
So
the
are you suggesting,
but
because you're not a Christian, so I'm a little bit confused why you so offended at the fact that the Bible. So are you suggesting that the Bible has these standards, but all of a sudden they're allowing these two things to be married together
yeah,
that are supposed to contradict?
the reason why I'm I where I'm glad you said that you're confused because a lot of people, like I used to be a Christian, but that's why I came out of Christianity because it's not it don't hit on facts. It hit on belief. A belief could be anything. You can have a belief and make it true with no facts. I'm
Yes.
speaking truth and facts, something that you can
Right.
go find and that's tangible and everything. So that's why I just said it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. If they're gonna keep promoting uh this homosexuality on the on the level that is promoting it, then
Okay.
I'll always bring in Christianity and religion. Because this, like you said, this is the Western Hemisphere. So we shouldn't have to do everything that the Bible, we shouldn't have to put our hand on the Bible when we go to court and swear in. We
So
should,
in a perfect world,
yeah,
again, I know you're not a Christian, but it
yeah,
sounds like you have expectations of Christianity based on what it uh I guess based on some of the values that come from the book. So in a perfect world, what do you think Christianity's response should be, or what do you think the response of responsibility of Christians are in this context?
Christians, stop the bullshit. If you're gonna represent the Bible, represent it right, which they never did
Mm,
represent it right. Because even with
yeah,
Christian, they were the ones that spearheaded slavery. They were the ones that gave the green light, the Romans.
I
So
think yeah.
it's bullshit for one. I think if we're gonna do this thing, let's do it let's do it out the way right, or even the playing field. Because like I said, they trying to put it in schools now. They trying to make what this dude is in that video. They basically saying it's okay. Now
But
if you yo,
I think you just said it with Christianity though. I think that has it ever has Christianity ever gotten it all the way right?
nope.
No. The only place that somebody could say that it's perfect is in the book, and even we know better than that. But the practice of Christianity has never gotten it all the way right, especially since the spread of Christianity was synonymous with the spread of colonization and slavery. It ain't never had it all the way right. Christianity's never really been um a garden of moral values. I mean,
uh-huh.
it's to me, it's been um the practice of Christianity has been selectively moral, right? You overlook what you need to overlook to meet your objectives at the time.
Right.
So in the 16th century and the 1500s, after the Protestant Reformation, when Spain and Portugal and then all the rest of Western Europe started breaking out and colonizing, you know, they winked at that. They authorized that, and they made the book justify it. And we see lots of scriptures on slaves obey your masters. So to me, I don't see Christianity doing anything different than it's always done. It's always made allowance for things that we think it says is wrong when it's convenient.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, in my opinion, I don't put any expectations on what Christianity should be guarding, protecting, defending, preventing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just morally convenient and selective.
Yeah, and like I say, that for us older ones, uh, I go far as anybody that in this era right now, that's 15 and older, is I think we're safe. But anybody that's 15 on down, ain't
Mm,
you don't. It's almost like when you watch TV before a movie come on, it'll let you know if the movie is rated R.
I got you.
It'll let you know it's PG-13. It'll let you know beforehand. Even with social media and YouTube, you got
I
to be
got you.
careful what
Sensitive
you
content.
say,
Yeah,
or you'll get pulled down. So it ain't no fucking way. I mean, sorry, it ain't no way that before this man video came out, nobody didn't see him like, hold up, you got to change this. No, 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 no.
but you see guys in dresses often. I mean, it's a show, and I'm not saying that. I mean, that's not my thing, but
Yep.
I'm just saying that imagery. I feel like it's crowbarred into a lot of stuff. So I mean, as far as it passing like quality check or whatever, I can see how it would easily pass because a show that I liked on Netflix was what was it called? Um All American, the football high school football team. They had a spin-off show called All American Homecoming or something like that. It was at a HBCU, and it
Yeah,
followed one of the girls from the original cast, and she went from high school to college at a HBCU. One of her close friends is a dude with a wig, a Beyonce like wig, full mustache and beard going on, and he's with the girl. So he's a trans and he wears dresses and all that. So I see that all the time. So for Nas X to do it is like I just think he was more eccentric with his. We see it a lot.
yeah, but like, yo, you can be eccentric, but dog, when you bring in
Okay.
religion, like I don't have no problem. Like if he'd have did the video without that, then I'm like, cool. We know you gay. We ain't tripping on you. Just like when we grew up, we know a dude is gay. We may have picked on him in school, but after a while, we didn't trip. I even had a best friend at the time, and I knew it was something weird about him, but I didn't know he was gay. And then until one day he said, "Man, I like you." And I said, "Man, I don't go that way," and that messed up our friendship. I was still cool to be his friend, but he said out his own mouth. I'll never forget his name, but I ain't gonna say it to protect him. But he literally told me, he said, "Man, I like you," because I was cool, and everybody kept saying, "Man, you hanging with him, woo 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 woo." And I was like, he cool. I looked at him as a human being. So I
Right,
don't
right, right.
against homosexuals. It's the way how they're promoting it with how Nas X is promoting it. It's giving them a
Yeah.
bad name. And I think the homeless
Oh.
the rainbow community need to tell him like, dude, you taking this shit too far, dog. Like,
Mhm.
because y'all got laws. That's their ace and hole. They got laws to protect them now. So if you got laws to protect them, it also should be some laws to keep them from getting out of line. And what Nas X did was wrong when you want to keep talking about religion. Like, dog, you can do your videos, rub oil on you, can have dudes licking on you and everything. But dude, when you put the religion into it, dog, now that's foul. That's foul. Because not saying I'm a Christian, protecting Christian, but that's the golden standard for when people want to get their life right or they want to do better in life, they always feel like they have to go to religion. And Christianity is the big thing. But when you see Christianity allowing that to go down, and then you got the government getting on you if you hurt these people or bother these people, they have done created a whole race of people. Come on, dog. Why didn't y'all do that back then? Come on, man. That means I can't wait when you ask me for my closing remarks because I can go right here. I'm gonna touch on Rome. I'm gonna speak on Rome when you give me my closing remarks. You can.
Yeah. Okay.
So I,
I still feel like you feel a little bit strong about the religion part not being a Christian, but what I think I'm hearing you saying is that you saying it's a golden standard here,
yeah,
right, wrong, or otherwise. It's the religion of the Western Hemisphere for sure, and
yeah,
it's kind of the people use it, even though people don't really, they're not really about that life when it
yeah.
comes to the Bible. But if you push them in a corner, they would call that the golden standard. They would call that like the moral foundation, or they would go to that book for like the foundation of whatever their moral values are. I mean, I agree with that, but it sounds like even though you're not a Christian, you don't think that the quote unquote golden standard should be allowed to be tampered with because you got some young people who may still use that to kind of get themselves morally situated as they're growing. Is that what you're saying? So they shouldn't normalize the combination of those two things because you got some people who don't know any better and might walk into it and feel like, okay, this is just what it is.
I'm provoking change, and I'm using religion to do it. I'm using religion to do it. Since he used it in his video, I'm using it to provoke change.
What kind of change?
You shouldn't force it on kids. It shouldn't be taught in
Mm,
schools. They teach
yeah.
some states are already saying that kids gotta understand and relate to transgender. Why? Why? As a parent.
Mm. I mean, I'm a get on. You know, as a father of boys, I feel like I'm a lot like you. You know, like I hate to sound like the person who said, "Oh, I got a black friend," you know, like, but
Yeah.
real talk in high school, I had a similar situation. We had a couple of guys that, you know, I'm sure there were some people in the closet who were masculine, but you had some guys who you could, it appeared, at least you could tell, like their mannerisms were feminine, but nobody cared. They were cool and a lot of times really intelligent, great
Yes.
to have conversations with. Nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we just all did our own thing. It was
Nobody
just
comfortable. It is what it is. Yeah.
it is what it is. And I think one thing that we were great at was just having mutual respect for people to live the life the way they chose to live it. And
Yeah.
and I think that's where a lot of us still stand. But it's like one of the issues I have with the agenda part of it is that if 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 your views are not that of the other community, then it's taken as an attack
Yes.
because you differ in view. And I think that is against their values and my values because the basis of this thing is mutual respect.
Yeah.
Everybody should mutually respect the right of people to choose their own lifestyle, regardless of what that is. As long as it's not hurting other people, we respect your right to choose that. So that goes whether you choose for that community or not. But in my cases, it ain't even necessary to discuss. You do what you do, I do what I do. What we got in common, we coexist there, share experiences, and we move on. It's that simple as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I mean, just like to go on the porn site, you have to type it in and watch it. It's just like
Got you,
you know what I'm saying.
got you, got
You know what
you.
I'm saying? If you go on the
Mhm.
porn site and you watching something, you intentionally typed it in and saw it. It wasn't
Yeah,
thrown. Like people ain't out here having sex on the street openly. You'll go to jail for that. That's what I'm
right.
saying. The laws and shit is bullshit. It's hypocritical, especially when it goes against nature. I don't have nothing against the homosexuality, but man and woman wasn't created just to be created. It was for
Mhm.
rope and everything. So I'ma still say it's unnatural. It's a lot of things here unnatural that we do to our bodies. Good food, bad food. We still eat it. So it's a price to pay for it. But it ain't
Mhm.
forced on nobody. You pick and choose to buy it.
Got you, got you, got
But
you, got you.
with what Nas X is doing, you can't pick and choose. That's what I'm saying. These kids are not being protected. I'm gonna keep saying it. The kids can pick and choose with parents in their presence, or not in their presence, but they still gonna get affected. And then he using the utmost thing, religion, to promote his homosexuality when that's the golden standard that everybody, even people indirectly say, "Golly, Jesus Christ," and never went to church, but you still
Mhm.
use them words. Even when you go to a family cooking and everybody saying, "Let's pray over the food." So
Yeah, it's a tradition. It's
it's a
part of our tradition.
and so like you say, respect tradition. We need to get back to that, and I think Nas X took that shit too far.
You
He
think it
took
took
it
it too
too
far? I
far.
got you. I mean, I hear that. I mean, I hear you say. I mean, I hear your concern being on a real personal level that you raise, and I think everybody has a right to raise their family according to their values, and I think that's a cornerstone of the conversation here.
Yeah,
If you are heterosexual and strictly so, then your family values are going to follow that train of thought, and I think that everybody deserves protection. If that's how you raise your family, then that's how you raise your family. I mean, I agree. I think anything that um contradicts with your family values should need your consent before it's publicized in front of impressionable people. That's how, and I've always felt that way. You know what I'm saying. And I'm me personally. I don't care to use strong language against anybody or describe anybody, whatever the case is. I've said before, and I will always say, it's about mutual respect. I respect your value system. You respect mine. We all get along, and that's as simple as that.
Yep, yep. And
Yep.
there was no mutual respect what he did. He's going against the grain. He is really
Yeah. And
he's
I
really
think that, and I think that's a part of the viral campaign. You know what I'm saying? And I'll add this as we come to a close. But a lot of a lot of new ideas are pushed under the umbrella of art, right? You
yeah.
if you Google it, this is not something I've researched, but I know it exists. You've got churches that openly embrace homosexuality. That's kind of a newer thing in the Christian landscape. But as the society changes, Christianity changes. I'm not saying it's a sweeping change because you always had flamboyant guys in the choir and all this and that. But as far as your ministers and pastors being openly from the LGBT community, that's something that's more new, but it's not as publicized. So I think Nas X trying to bring the two worlds together. When you see new ideas, a lot of times it comes under the umbrella of art, and a lot of times it's shock value associated with it because they're trying to get attention. They're trying to get attention. They're trying to get exposure to get impressions from people. What do people think? What do people feel? And all of that. And to try to move you into a new direction. So Nas X is what he's kind of doing is putting society at a decision point. Can these two things coexist? Are people ready for that? And I think that's what you're responding to right now. Those you I hear you saying those things, religion and LGBT or Christianity in particular in that community should not coexist. Is that what I hear you saying?
No, it can coexist.
It can.
It can coexist. I didn't say
Okay.
it coexist, but
Okay.
it's being forced on the people that's not on that side.
Okay. So you didn't say it shouldn't coexist, but you're saying it shouldn't be
No, it
it
coexists.
shouldn't be involuntarily.
We grew up with it being around, and our grand
Facts.
grew up it being around. The shit was around when the Bible was created.
That's facts.
And like when you give me my closing remarks, I'm gonna show you how it existed then.
Well, go ahead and go into that. Why don't you go ahead and go into closing?
Okay, all right. Let me go to close. Let me go to my page 502. This is Dr. Alfrika, a historian, and I'm gonna start off. He had a thing where it speaks about Rome. He said the word queer is derived from Roman mythology called queer, from a
Mm,
name called Romulus. They broke it down to Rome was the homosexual brother of a homosexual Arenas. Romulus formed the male homosexual city of Rome. Incidentally, in Rome, the thieves, liars, and criminals was forced to live on a hill of the city called Capitol Hill. The ruling senators and congressmen of the United States of America worked in sections called Capitol Hill. The male homosexual city population was becoming extinct because it had no women.
mm.
Romulus devised a scheme to get women to breed with the homosexual men. He invited the men and women for he invited the men for the scheme. He invited the men and women from another city called Sabine. Sabine, Sabines. Let me say it rightly. Sabines.
Okay.
If you know etymology, means cave. To come
Okay.
to a festival. At the festival, Roman homosexual men raped the Sabine women. The husbands of the raped women became angry. In order to avoid war, Romulus promised that his men would marry the raped women. Romulus and Sabine people eventually united and called themselves queer. But let's break that word down even more. Like the muscles. I'm a personal trainer. You got your thing called rhomboids. Now, that's where the word rhomboid comes from. It's called rhomboid is a back muscle that resembles a heel or a Christmas pine tree like shape. Check that out now. Rome was established on a hill. The word ID, part of the word rhombozoid, means the demon nature of man's mind.
Well,
ID,
bring it home for us. What you trying to tell us?
What I'm trying to tell you is Christianity isn't bullshit. Christianity is behind the scenes promoting this thing to the point where, like, Christianity was forced on our ancestors. And I ain't say nothing to the extent that I'm gonna say it now, but you always have made a point that when they want to promote homosexuality or point that community, they always use a black man. So to bring it home,
Notice that.
they have always used this scheme. But now that it's law, they done took over and there's no controlling it.
Okay.
So I'm fighting for the kids. If you really look at it, it has always been behind the scenes being pushed. But now that they done got that ace of spade, the government behind it is no controlling it. And I don't
Yeah.
think they'll ever get control of it. And what Nas X is just a taste of what is to come. If
Mm.
we as people don't get a spine to protect the kids. I'm not worried about us. We grew
Yeah.
up, we know how to deal with it. These kids don't know they're being conditioned and trained socially engineered. You think people confused now? These kids gonna be confused, don't even know how they got confused because they're taking it in visually. They hearing it
Mm.
through music visually, and we don't have no way to protect them from it because the powers that be, and now that they got the government to make these laws, it's like the only way to counteract it is what we doing now.
Mm.
So
I mean,
that
and
up, I brought that reading up. It's Dr. Afrika called Holistic Living,
uh,
Holistic Health. So I let people know if they want to read it, they can check it out. But I'm just gonna let you know where it all started from. Rome is not what it is. Even people make jokes about it that homosexual
a lot, yeah.
so yeah.
A lot of people are aware that that a lot of that lifestyle was real prevalent in Greek, ancient Greece, and Rome. And another thing, and just dropping a few high level facts, a lot of folks understand that homosexuality was prevalent in those societies, and that the Bible was formed through those societies. And I think in a lot of ways the pinnacle of the church was in the Roman Catholic Church and the Pope era, and then that spread out and through the Protestant Reformation over into the Caribbean and the Americas. So I think there are some points there. I think to me, I don't necessarily know how to navigate these conversations per se, but as we're having it, I feel like when we talk about, because at the end of the day, because I call them landmines. I call it's a lot of landmines in this conversation. It's easy to say something that somebody jumps on and blows it up, right? And say, oh, it's an attack. So
Look
as we're
at
having a
Eddie, look at Bishop Eddie Long. Now that P. Diddy been getting smoked for what he's been doing. Like I
uh
said, I don't have nothing against them, but I'm gonna keep pushing Christianity. Now they saying that T.D. Jakes was down with it.
Uh-huh.
If you
Yeah, I
haven't,
mean,
yeah,
allegedly,
uh, 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 uh,
and I'm
I'm
I'm gonna
not
say
saying
allegedly.
that,
I'm
but
gonna
this
say
is on,
allegedly across the board because I'm gonna say allegedly across the board because quite frankly,
yeah,
I think that innocent until proven guilty has become old school. But
yeah.
that's how I am. Yeah, I wasn't there.
No, I'm not saying he
No,
did it,
no, I know, I
yeah,
know.
but it's
I'm
been
just
going on for a while. Why all of a sudden they making it prevalent now?
now right.
You
What's up
see
with the
what I'm saying?
timing?
Yeah.
What's up with the timing? Now I
Why
feel
you
you.
intermingling with somebody like that? They got pictures. So I mean, like, why are you, here and here and here and here? If you a
Who,
man of God,
Jakes?
you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's a whole. Maybe we need to do another one just on that. I
Yeah.
mean
Oh,
that's a whole can of worms, and I don't want to. I don't even want to take a view on that yet because it's different angles you can come from with why he would be
yeah.
with the Diddy or
Don't
whatever
make
the case is. But
money,
I was just gonna
money,
add. I was just gonna say that
money,
I think
money.
if to get deep into these conversations, I think it's important to have
Yeah.
a participant from the community in
Oh
my
yeah.
opinion. And I got somebody in mind actually. I
Yup.
think to join us to represent that perspective, because I think that's the only way to really have a constructive conversation without somebody taking offense. Because again, on this broadcast, we're talking about family values and where you draw the line as far as pushing family values that someone may not agree with on their children without their consent.
Yup.
We're talking about where is that line for mutual respect? Where's
Yup.
that line for all people to have a voice for their particular set of family values? That's really the basis of this conversation. But to
Mm.
go deep and to go into how different family values intersect with religion and other aspects of society, I think we need a participant from that community to weigh in and bring balance to the conversation. I think that's what we need to set up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. I mean, I know you hit your closing thoughts, but I need to get out of here in a few, and
Okay.
we'll end the live, but hang around for a few minutes on the backstage. Anything else you want to you want to touch on before we go?
Nah. I just love how we close because we got something else. We got something else, another topic. If Christianity supposed to be Christianity and Christians, how are we still ending up in the circular world if we wasn't involved or close to the circular world?
Yeah, hey, I guess I'll end up closing with this, and I mentioned it. I said it earlier in the live. Man, Christianity has never gotten it all the way right. I think from its inception, from how it was spread, how it forcibly pushed out indigenous traditional spiritual systems, attacked them in order so that it could be the dominant spiritual system in the land, and then how it was spread through colonization and slavery. It has never gotten it all the way right. It was just presented to us as the perfect solution. We internalize that and we've been pushing that. But when you look at the actual history of how it's been spread, it has never gotten it right. So I'm not surprised to see that it's still conflicted to this day. It's a religion of convenience. Anybody can take that book and make it say whatever they need to make it say to fit their agenda at the end of the day. I ain't got a lot of confidence in it, and I got zero expectations from it.
But it's
You
backed by
dig?
they
It
using it,
is. It is. It is. It is backed. Yeah.
and a lot of the laws that they created stem from that book.
Facts. Facts. A lot of the moves that were made stem from that. But yeah, maybe we'll touch on Jake's and Diddy in the next one.
Oh
And
no, I said we ain't got to touch this on Jake. We can do a history of a quick history thing of showing how what you just said. We need to just have a talk about that in itself.
okay, about the spread
The
of
spread of Christianity
Christianity and how it never got it all the way right, morally
is
speaking.
critical. You say
Yeah.
one thing, you're doing something else over here, yo.
Yeah, I do think that's critical. Well, for the folks who watching, we appreciate y'all. I don't go live much, but I'm trying to do something different. I think this is the second live you and I have done. We've done maybe 2 or 3 videos that I chopped up and posted online, but
Right.
we'll keep it up because this T Rex. We talk often about a lot of things, and I think a lot of things we should broadcast. So we're starting to do that. So you'll be seeing more come from us. I appreciate the viewership, and we'll see you till next time. Peace.
Hey.